Hi, I'm Becky Stern, and today we're exploring sound generation and musical microcontrollers. Whether you're building a talking robot or your own DIY synthesizer, this episode will help you choose the right parts for adding audio to your projects. We've covered topics like addressable LEDs and microcontroller selection in past episodes, and this one builds on those skills. But instead of light, we're making noise. Let's start with the simplest sound output, a piezo buzzer. A piezo element turns electrical signals into mechanical vibrations, producing sound. One type of buzzer has a built-in oscillator, apply DC voltage, and they make a fixed tone. The other type is a passive piezo, which needs a square wave signal to generate sound. Piezos are inexpensive, lightweight, and perfect for beeps and alarms, but they can't reproduce complex audio or music very well. For that, you'll want a speaker. Small hobby speakers, when paired with an appropriate amplifier circuit, can play anything from generated waveforms to recorded samples. They are larger and require more power than buzzers, but the sound quality is worlds apart. Because of their power requirements, you can't drive a speaker directly from a microcontroller pin. You need an amplifier, even for small speakers. Microcontrollers can generate audio by outputting waveforms, either with a dedicated DAC or digital analog converter, or through bit banging. One fun thing to do is hook up a signal to an oscilloscope, so you can see and hear the different wave shapes at the same time. This is the thingamagoop. For example, try the Mozzie library for Arduino, which lets you synthesize sound, and it's super fun. It's what Nick Chelyapov used to develop his BIDI synthesizer. If audio playback is more interesting to you than bleeps and bloops, you could skip the coding entirely and use a playback module like the Adafruit Audio FX board. It can store and play audio clips from the onboard flash, which mounts like a USB drive on your computer. It's my go-to for projects that require audio sample playback, but it's far from the only option. Check out how tiny the DF player is, for example. I've made so many projects with these simple audio modules, including Penny's computer book from Inspector Gadget, a jacket that brings its own laugh track, and a portable white noise machine in a coffee cup. The Audio FX board is available in 2 different memory sizes, so be sure to order the one with more storage if you're having long audio samples or long overall total duration of audio. Although you could process audio playback through an Arduino board hooked up to an SD card, like with this old Wave Shield, it takes up all the processing power of its Atmega 328 microcontroller. So it's not super practical anymore because thankfully we have the option to offload the processing to a different board or use a more powerful microcontroller. The RP2040, for example, can run Python code, including playing back audio samples. It's what I use for my PS4 controller music sequencer I built for YouTube Maker Secret Santa last year. The only tricky part about working with audio samples is that you have to get your settings right for whatever platform you're using. So be sure to read the included documentation and use an audio editing program to adjust the sample rate, mix down to mono, and export in the appropriate file format before transferring to your playback device. Audiophiles might bristle at the idea, but most projects don't really need stereo audio. Try it first in mono before you add unnecessary complexity to your project. Or maybe your project should run on a single board computer, like a Raspberry Pi, which can easily play full quality stereo audio. I hope this video gives you the confidence to start using sound in your projects. If you want to make your project react to sound, check out our previous episode about making sound reactive projects. I've put links to all the articles I mentioned in the description. What kind of sound project would you build? Tell us in the comments so we can all learn together. Check out the playlist with the rest of this series and subscribe to be sure you don't miss the next one.